We want to help you to understand that, so where I am is where I am. And what I do now, whether I worry or whether I am hopeful, whether I complain or whether I praise, what I do now determines the direction of me in the stream. And that is all that matters. What happens with so many of you is that you are so aware of where you are, that where you are gets too much of your attention. And what we want to keep reminding you is, if where you are looking that way, then you can't stay where you are very long. So all you have to do is be where you are and look optimistically, and you have to make movement. Since we have 3 hours before we have to do that thing we don't want to do, we could think about other things that are more pleasant, and then we'll just deal with what we have to deal with when we get there. During this time where I don't really have to face the reality of what is, I could do other things with my thoughts. Now think about it. So if during this time before I have to face it, I'm doing other things with my thoughts, while I might not change what's going to happen 3 hours from now, I will change what's happening 3 days from now or 3 weeks from now. And for most of you, that's not enough. If you can't change it here, then why bother? And we say, because if you don't change it down there, then here goes everywhere you go. And so many of you, you're where you are relative to your body, relative to your finances, relative to your relationships, relative to your work. And what is has so much of your attention that you just keep projecting what is out there. And you got to stop doing that. You have to ignore what is occasionally and think about what you'd prefer to be until what you prefer plays a more dominant role in your vibration. That's how you let things change in your experience. When you keep beating the drum of what is has to keep showing itself to you in the variety of talented ways that it can show you. Can't get rid of it. You can't get rid of a vibration that is dominant. You've got to change. You can get rid of the vibration, but you cannot get rid of the results of your dominant vibration. You have to change the dominant vibration to something else. And when you do, the universe will deliver to you the byproduct of your new and improved vibration. It is law. I am where I am, and where I am is not where I want to be, but all you're doing is confirming to everyone who you are. And so law of attraction says, well, that's who you are, and so that being that you are right now fits here where you don't want to be. Who I'm being fits with where I don't want to be. I'm angry that I don't have enough money. Well, that fits with a job that doesn't pay enough. I'm frustrated that they don't recognize my talent. Well, that fits with a job that doesn't recognize your talent. I'm sick and tired of this sort of thing happening, which means I fit with what I'm sick and tired of, so law of attraction will give me more of it. Isn't it interesting? So something that would let you turn better would be, well, I haven't found it yet, but I will. Haven't found it yet, but I will. It's illogical for me not to find it. Too great of a sense of who I really am. And I have too much of a feeling of empowerment and thrill in my knowledge of who I am and what I have to offer. I know I'll find my place eventually. Now, didn't that turn you? You see, that's all that's required. You don't have to figure out how or where or when or who. You can't lose, because the stream's going to carry you. It wants to carry you. You deserve to go that way. It's natural that you would. And if you could just be less intense about it and not work so hard about it and not worry so much about it and not scrutinize where you are quite so much. But we just want you to understand that your well-being is assured, and that your well-being, you see, if you hadn't lived the intense life that you've lived, you wouldn't have all of this potential downstream that now is giving you fits that you haven't achieved it. Once you understand that just because you've asked, it is beginning to take form. And just because you are source energy in this physical body, and just because it is the legacy that is promised to you, and just because your life has caused you to ask for it, just because all of those things, just because you be and you have asked, it is coming to pass. You don't have to justify it in any way. In other words, you don't need justification. It just is that way. It just is that way. It's supposed to go well for you. And when it doesn't, when it gets screwy, it's you doing it every single time. No one else. Only you. Only you. Every time.